Okay, so I tried to make this and it was so long, and I really tried not to make long ones because I'm ADHD. Here, see, I go rambling. Nope, to the point. Okay, so recently there was the loss of a young girl here close to us. Lots of people tagged, reached out, messaged me, and I'm thankful for that. Um, it just made me, it was heavy on my heart to just kind of share some things that I felt were extremely helpful for us as a family whenever we were in the beginning stages and the months after that, the things that were helpful, just to kind of share with you guys like what may be helpful to someone going through this. And honestly, I feel like this applies no matter the situation surrounding the loss. Like, grief is grief, a loss is a loss. But these were just things that I felt were really helpful to us. And so the first thing I will say is that the community came together, like the city of Ocean Springs, and immediately started what's called a meal train. I believe there's a website for it. And so they created this meal train, and so people could sign up to bring food, and they could make it, or they could just order it and deliver it. So a couple things about that is that, one, you do not have to stress going, like, this grieving family does not have to stress going to the store, cooking, doing all these things in the midst of their grief. And for me, having Taylor and Riker, and I have to provide for them, and I still have to care for them, having that, and then making sure my children were fed and taken care of was like just the biggest blessing ever. And it was so good because you pick your times, you pick your meals, like what's coming, and obviously like whoever coordinates it will coordinate if there's like any allergies or anything like that. But we had our meal train for probably 3.5 months, and it was the by far biggest blessings. And like, it was so good because we had a bench outside, so individuals could drop the food off. You weren't necessarily, because there were some days that I could not face anyone. I just was not okay. It was so good. Like, my children were fed, we were taken care of, and it was so sweet because a lot of the people had children, and they would write cards and letters and just make trinkets, and that was great for Riker and Taylor, and just encouragement. By far, if there is someone in your community that is experiencing a loss, meal train every time. And then things like, like sitting back at your table where your family was, like, we had our spots, and to think like, oh, I'm going to prepare a meal and I'm going to go sit and see this person not there. My soul, my heart could not. It took so many months before we could ever have dinner at our table again. I could not cook. I couldn't do anything. So for me personally, and I know for my children, that was like such a big blessing. So that took like the biggest chunk of that, but that was so good for us. And then a lot of individuals donated like gift cards for like food places and things for like once the meal train stopped, which was great for like days that we had reminders or something that just was triggering and I wasn't okay or someone wasn't okay. So that was great. This one, I would have never thought, never. And I honestly didn't until, so like, one day I go to my front door, there's a box, and I bring it in, open it. I'm not even kidding you. Like 5,000 paper plates, which, lifesaver, paper towels, toilet paper, feminine products, toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner. Seems so silly, but you have to, like, you are in the midst of grief. You are not going to want to go to the store. You are not going to, everything's going to make you fall apart. You're not going to be thinking about the things that you may need in life in those moments. So for myself, Taylor, Riker, those were so good to have someone think for me, because I can't in those moments, and make sure we have those necessities and those hygiene products, laundry detergent. So, I mean, the list goes on. What you need in your home is probably what that person grieving needs. And I know, like, people have their different things, but, that. Third thing. So, this one, I almost want to put number one because, like, for me, this was so good. The donations to where Aubrey was at, like her funeral home. And I didn't even know, like people would just call in and make donations. So that helped. Or, so that, I will say that was the three, like those are three of the first things. Like people are like, what can you do? What can you do? And like, how do you ask for those things? How do you do? But people just come together. So meal train, and then just household necessities, hygiene products, see what is needed at the funeral home, like as far as donations go or anything like that. Maybe setting up. So like I know for us, we did not have Aubrey's service at the funeral home. We had it at another location. And so individuals went and prepared that place with like what I was wanting. And then, so those are huge things, especially in the beginning, that make the biggest difference. Because I just was so fortunate. My kids were so fortunate. We had individuals taking care of where the service was going to take place. We had people taking care of like where everything was going to be okay as far as food and things like that. I was able to take the time off of work to be with my kids, and like Taylor didn't go to school for a while. So teenagers, friends, you're not that she was doing schoolwork, but like provide those notes, like what can I do as far as school and academics, like make sure you give them a copy of your notes or study guides or PowerPoints, whatever you can do with that. Obviously not in the beginning, but like once they're back in a routine, that's extremely helpful. So that was great. But I'll say again, you don't know what you need. And that's why I was like, I really feel like I should do this, because every day someone loses someone, whether it's by the way that we lost Aubrey or something else. And so these are things that are so helpful, just to be able to have that time. And so making sure that they do that. I had a group of friends of mine that had a house cleaner come in and clean my home. And I'm a clean freak, so like for me that was so helpful. For some it may be hard. And then the first month, they're going to have so much love. Doesn't mean don't send them that love. And I remember someone telling me, they said, I love you and I'm here for you. At month 4, I'm going to be checking on you more. And I didn't get it at the time, and hindsight now I do. Because by month 3 or 4, I think people have best of intentions. It kind of dwindles down. You don't have as many people constantly coming over, and they can't. That's just the reality of it. So month 4 or 5, you're left alone with your thoughts. You're back to reality, and your new reality no longer has this person in it. But you no longer have hundreds of people checking on you, and you feel utterly devastated. And so I say, mark it in your calendar if you have to. Month 4, probably at 3.5 to 4, check on your people. Go. Take them to dinner. Take them to lunch. Check on them. And keep checking on them. There is gonna be a part 2, but this is already super long. So I'm going to post this one, and then there will be a part 2, because there's so much more. And then I'm going to tell a pretty tragic experience of mine that I went through at about 4.5 months. And just more ways that we can help others. But just reach out, but try to see what you can do to support them. Love you guys.